G'day crew, I'm Oscar Pelazon and welcome to another episode of Tube Time Tuesday. Not down the beach today, there was swell, wind, not much going on. So rather than head down there and waste time setting up and dealing with the sand blowing around, I thought I'd come to you from the Boardroom HQ in my little office and have a chat to you about... I got invited a couple of weeks ago to an event hosted by Chris Williamson from the Modern Wisdom podcast, apparently the number 7 podcast in the world. And a big thanks to Ben Carter from Pinnacle Planning for the invite, and true to form, Ben doesn't do things by halves, and we had VVIP tickets, which meant a private session with Chris and about 30 others before the main event. And at that, we could ask him anything. And by the end of the night, something really struck me. Not about Chris specifically, but about the people in the room. What I saw and what I heard was a room full of people who on the surface are doing well, but underneath it, they're lost because they're not connected to what matters most to them. And the questions people were asking, well, told a story. You know, one guy, 28, house, investments, ticking all the boxes, said it still wasn't enough. He keeps chasing more, but doesn't feel any closer to being satisfied. Another, 20 years old, been in business since high school, since he was 14, and he doesn't go out, he just works, doesn't socialize. Another spoke about having plenty of friends, but not feeling like he could be himself around them. Different situations, but the same underlying theme. They're chasing something, but they don't really know why. Now, I asked Chris what he thought was causing it, and to be honest, I don't think he gave a super clear answer. So I've had a bit of time to have a bit of a think, and here's what I think is going on. And we're being fed a version of success that isn't ours. Social media is full of people telling you how to live. On one side, you've got the hardcore hustle message, push harder, ignore how you feel, chase the dream. If you're not doing that, you're falling behind. And on the other, you've got the influencers showing the highlight reel, the cars, the travel, the villas, this perfect life. Problem is, none of it asks a simple question. Why does that matter to you? So what happens is people start chasing outcomes that look like success, but they ultimately feel empty because they're not connected to anything deeper. It's success for the sake of success, and that's a game that you never win. At some point, you've got to step back and ask yourself, why does this matter to me? Not my ego, not compared to someone else, but to me as a person. Understand what gives meaning to your life, what you value, what a fulfilling life looks like, not just a successful one. And that's across all aspects of your life, not just business. Because once you're clear on that, everything changes. You start to build a business that supports your life, not drains it. You start making decisions that align with who you are, not with who you think you should be. And when things get tough, as they always do, you've got something deeper driving you than just money or status. And that's the power of being clear. So if there's a takeaway from today, it's this. Take time to get clear around what gives purpose or meaning to your life. Make it authentic and build something that means something to you, not someone else. Because the financial results will come. But if there's no connection underneath it, it's never going to feel like it's enough, and you're constantly going to be on that treadmill. And to Chris Williamson's credit, I think that's the direction he's heading. It may be not fully formed yet, but he's starting to move people away from the hustle and towards something more meaningful. And I think that's a good thing. I've dropped a link to an earlier episode where I talk you through my Be Do Have model if you want to explore this a little bit further. That's it for me today. I look forward to seeing you in the boardroom next Tuesday for another episode of Tube Time Tuesday. Happy days. You.